Hello and welcome to another installment of Conspirator Brock's Poll List. This is my poll list for the week of June 18th, 2014. So let's get started. First up on the list is Batman and, this time, Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it. Issue number 32. This series has still been going strong. The hunt for Robin is continuing, so this is where we're going to figure out what happened with Roz's plan to bring back Damien with a Lazarus pit. So, see where it goes. I've been enjoying it. There you go. Next up is, we're on week 11 of Batman Eternal. I've still been enjoying Batman Eternal. I'm a couple issues behind, but it's nice to read a weekly title in chunks so that you get a good gist of it. Even though they come out week to week and it's easier to remember, sometimes it's just nice to actually have a good chunk of a story. So Batman Eternal number 11. Next up is Batwoman number 32. Mark Dranko, I believe is how you pronounce it. Probably butchered it, but that's okay. His story stuff with Batwoman since J.H. Williams was off of the book, and I forgot who else was it, but still been going strong, still enjoying it. So Batwoman. Next up is Fables number 141. Fables is supposed to be coming to a close fairly soon, so I'm curious to see how they end it. But tension is building in the story, so we'll see where it goes. But yeah, Fables. Next up is Harbinger number 24. Like I say all the time, Valiant comics are really, really good, and you should pick them up and try them out. The only qualm I have is, production-wise, the books normally come kind of beat up and dinged, but that's not due to anything we do. That's something that happens at the print shop. So Valiant, get on that, fix that shit. Next up is Harley Quinn number 7. Enjoying the Harley Quinn book. The last story arc with the old guy was a little awkward, so hopefully we get a kind of different take on some of Harley Quinn's exploits, but still enjoying it. So the next up is the New 52 Futures End number 7. We're in week 7 of DC's New 52 Futures End. At the shop, our numbers have fallen off a little bit on this title. I think that's probably because the story overall is very, very much reminiscent of what was going on in 52 and Countdown, with telling of different stories, little bits here and there throughout each issue. So reading it week to week is okay, but I definitely think this title is something that you should read in chunks, because then you kind of get a good dose of each story when you read it. So if you are still interested in Futures End, keep picking it up, but maybe try and pace out when you actually read it. And if you're waiting for big chunks to purchase, let your comic shop know so that they don't necessarily cut back on their ordering, so you might not be able to get some issues due to them cutting back for FOC. So yeah, New 52 Futures End. Next up is the fun kid book I pick up, Teen Titans Go number 4. My son loves this show. I love this show. It's an amazing show. The comic book is funny too. So if you like Teen Titans Go, pick up the comic. It's a fun read. And yes, DC, if you watch this, hear this, or somebody knows somebody at DC who watches this, pass on that we need a pain bot that actually says, all I know is pain, 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 pain. Yes, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Next up is Trinity of Sin, Pandora, number 12. This book has been slated for cancellation. I'm still enjoying it. Vandal Savage has come back to basically, if you can't tell, kill Pandora. She's been kind of depowered, so she's no longer immortal or indestructible. So we'll see where this story goes and see if she survives. And if she survives, what happens with the DC New 52? Ooh, yeah, I don't even know what I just said there. Next up is Unity number 8, the team book from Valiant. I've been enjoying it. It's been a good read, so I highly recommend you check it out. So, and then we have Mike Carey's Unwritten number 6, Unwritten Apocalypse. Um, Unwritten's a good book. It's very, very heavily based with literature and kind of you know, themes and fictional stories. So I enjoy reading Unwritten every month, but I don't necessarily think it's over my head, but I do think that a reread of this book when it's finished will clear up a lot more stuff. But really enjoy the title. It's been going strong for a few years. So yeah, so this is Unwritten Apocalypse number 6. I only had 11 books on my pull list this week. My pull list is actually getting smaller and smaller for the stuff that I actually take home, mainly due to the fact that I don't necessarily feel I need to get everything in single issue. I also don't necessarily want everything in single issue anymore, so I am moving more towards reading in trade and just reading for informational sake, so I can be knowledgeable at least when people come in and ask questions and all that stuff, since I do work in a comic book store and I do a podcast and I do this blog. So yeah, but now on to my read list. My read list this week. Oh, good stuff. We have, first up, Daredevil number 4. Wade's been doing a great job with Daredevil. I've been enjoying it. Do I think it really needed a renumber when he moved to San Francisco? Not necessarily, but still good stuff. Still a decent, you know, if Marvel wants to keep kind of giving a big chunk of story and then renumbering, that's perfectly and utterly fine, as long as it's, you know, kind of justified. But it was the same writer versus the same creative team, so it didn't necessarily, to me, feel like it needed renumbering. So, but Daredevil, still good. And then next up, and keeping in the vein with Daredevil, we have Elektra number 3. I've actually been really enjoying this. The artwork is kind of more sketch ish versions of like J.H. Williams, with a little more like a little freer, but definitely an interesting story, and I've been enjoying it. She's on a hit trying to catch a ghost, I think it's, I don't remember the exact name of the person she's trying to hunt down, but she's also being hunted at the same time. So yeah, Elektra, check it out. Next up is Mark Millar's MPH. Mark Millar, back with Jupiter's Legacy, which hasn't come out in a while. It's probably because he's been writing other stuff. Finished Jupiter's Legacy. It was fairly decent. This Jupiter's Legacy was funny because he only wanted it digital through Image and not day and date digital availability, but that eventually changed, and so you can get miles per hour or MPH day and date digital. So if you're a digital comic reader, you can pick this up. Basically, guy gets speed powers and uses them. So we'll see where it goes, but checking it out for now. Next up is number 4 of 8 of Original Sin. If you read Original Sin number 3, there was a big reveal at the end of who killed the Watcher, and it is interesting that Jason Aaron would pick that character to be the one that takes out the Watcher, but I'm not really sure as to what's the motive behind the character. So hopefully some of that gets cleared up in this issue. So yeah, so if you're reading Original Sin, this one's out. If you haven't been reading it, I highly recommend it. You can skip the 0 issue because it's not really that interesting, but Jason Aaron's been doing a really good job on this Marvel main title. So yeah. Alright, next up is Silver Surfer number 3. We'll see if I continue with Silver Surfer. Mike Aldred artwork, I really have a hard time with not... His style is his own, and I don't think it necessarily works on this book. Some people do. If you do, that's awesome. But for me, the story hasn't necessarily been the best, so I'll probably be dropping this title off my read list. Then next up we have Supergirl number 32, Red Daughter of Krypton. I'm still reading the Lantern stuff that ties in with the Lantern stuff, so we'll see where this goes. But overall, I have not been too impressed with introducing Supergirl as a Red Lantern. I know she's popped in other books as, hey, I'm a Red Lantern now. So it's not the best. I talked with Ryan. We were talking about this tonight for a little bit. How drastically the Green Lantern book numbers have dropped off since Johns and left and the creative team change, and it's pretty drastic. I think the main Green Lantern title, Ryan had said that the shop had gone down to like 22 copies, and that includes copies for the shelf and copies for subscribers. So that's a pretty steep drop. Some of the other books that I'm reading, if I get a chance, we just didn't have enough copies that I felt comfortable taking them to read this week, was Magnus the Robot Fighter, number 4 from Dynamite Comics. Issue 3 was horrible. Hopefully issue 4 redeems something, because issue 1 and 2 were really good. So we'll see if I continue with Magnus the Robot Fighter. I skipped over Green Lantern New Guardians, number 32, that came out this week. Those numbers have actually dropped even lower than the main Green Lantern book. I think we're at like 16 ordering copies that are ordered for the shop for that book. So DC, you really dropped the ball with the Lantern books. They were very solid, and you should have kept them that way. Next up, we have Punisher number 7. Punisher number 7's out. I'm still enjoying the Punisher series. It's really good. Then we have Thor number 23. Again, Jason Aaron's run on Thor has been amazing. Hopefully I will be able to collect that in an omnibus size when it's all finished. But he's been doing a really good job. The stuff going on with Braxton and the Roxxon Corporation, basically buying the town out and trying to kill the town to get to Thor. Really good stuff. And then the one I was going to try out this week was Winter World number 1 from IDW. It looked interesting enough to pick it up and check it out. Apparently everything is in snow or covered in snow, so I don't know if it's a post-apocalyptic world or what, but it's definitely something I was going to check out if we had a copy for me to read. But we do have a couple at the store, so if you pick it up, check it out, let me know. If I get a chance to read it, maybe you'll see it here on my read list. So, the other stuff that came out this week that I need to let you know about is Sandman Overture came out with their second printing for number 1, right here. Beautiful. So, I like Sandman, so I had to pick this up. And they also came out with the blank cover variant for Sandman number 1, so you can get it signed by either J.H. Williams or Neil Gaiman, if you can actually, find him and track him down and get him to sign it. But the blank cover variant is out for Sandman Overture number 1, so if you're interested in that, make sure to grab it at your local shop. And then we also have this week's installment of the Bombshell Variants. So first up is the Bombshell variant for Batman and Ra's al Ghul. Very nice pin-up variant there, or Bombshell variant. Then the next one is Batwoman number 32, got a Bombshell variant. Very nice, old school kind of look, League of Their Own kind of feel to it, but I like it. We actually got our copies of Earth 2's Bombshell variant featuring Hot Girl. Her picture's on a pack of bubble gum. So yeah. Cool. This is probably the big one that's probably going to sell out this week, which is the Harley Quinn number 7 Bombshell variant. There wasn't actually a statue made of this that I missed the opportunity to get, and now it's overly priced. Maybe one day down the road I'll pick up the statue, but Harley Quinn number 7 Bombshell variant, definitely got to pick that one up. This week also came out with Red Hood and the Outlaws number 32 had a Bombshell variant, where it's an advertisement for Haley's Circus presents Starfire tonight only. Ooh, very nice. Then next up we have the Wonder Woman number 32, homage to the women working in the factories. They can do it. So really good homage cover here, so I had to pick that up. So yeah, so that is my pull, read list, and purchased comics for this week. You can leave comments down below here on YouTube. You can leave comments on my blog. You can also hit me up on Twitter. My handle is Brock Sager. You can, if you are checking this out on conspiratorbrock.com, you already know where that is. But if you don't, it's www.conspiratorbrock.com. That's my weekly blog where I post stuff as much as I can. You can get comics digitally to help support Comics Conspiracy through any of the links on my blog page that link single issues to our Comixology website, where we do get a percentage when you do make a purchase. You can also support me personally if you order any Amazon or click through any ads and order things, which I appreciate if you do. And yeah, so if you have any questions, again, shoot them here on the comments, or shoot me them on Twitter, and I'll see you next week.